sail was rigged. At this point you normally disappear up to the clubhouse, a few coffees, a bit of motivation later, come back, it's time to put the foils in and go sailing. So first thing to do is to point the boat so it's sort of side onto the wind. If there's enough breeze, the boat will actually blow over at this point. Not sure there is right now, but we can try. So, yeah, to make sure the battens are popped in the same way that you're going to capsize the boat, so shouldn't blow back up that way. Grab the main sheet, tip the boat over. So at this point, as you see, the boat tends to like to fall onto its nose. Not an issue at this point because the trolley's on and that'll protect the bowsprit. So that's all good. And this is a really safe way to leave the boat because actually if it blows upright, no problem, it's just on its trolley. If it blows onto the nose, it's protected and so on. So this is a really good way if you're waiting for racing, need to go and get changed, leave it like that. You can't really go too wrong. So next up, we want to tie the main sheet on. Tie it right in the centre, and that way the boat is less likely to blow upright or anything you don't want it to do. Make sure you can untie this when you go sailing. Cool. Now, this will save your bowsprit. You just need to get anything heavy really. Dry bag full of sand is good because it's quite soft, it's not going to damage your boat, and you can just fill that up on your beach before you go sailing. So what I'm going to do, pull the boat down, and we're going to clip this sandbag on. That bag onto the gantry, and that weight should help keep the boat down and stop it falling on its nose. There we go. Next up, if at all possible with a rudder, when you're not traveling, quite a good idea, especially if you sail somewhere sandy like here, to try and leave as much assembled as possible. The more times you bring the tiller in and out of the stock, with all the sand and the grit and the salt here, it's just like a rubbing compound. It's just sanding it down. You'll get a loose fit. So leave it in when you can. Saves you time, saves you having a wobbly tiller. All right. There we go. Yeah, that wouldn't normally happen if there was any breeze. Let's push this over again. Once you've got the rudder on, don't really need the sandbag so much. And on a windiest day like today, occasionally this can happen. Absolutely fine with the rudder on, it won't touch the floor. Massive problem with the main foil on. So before you put the main foil on, make sure you put a weight on the top of your sail, and then that can't happen. up. One comes out. There we go. You can also, if you're worried about your boat tipping over once the trolley's off, you want to be super careful. Just grab your trolley and do the very same thing. Hook it onto your gantry or somewhere. And then it's really not going anywhere. With the main foil, just like with the tiller, we really don't want to get any sand and grit into our case. We want this to be a nice tight fit with no wobble. We don't want the board to be moving around when we're trying to foil on it. It's going to cause us difficulty. So just try and keep it nice and clean, sand free. Give it a wipe. If it's really bad, go and dip it in the sea before you put it in the boat. This one's not too bad. Same with the case. Let's get all the Hailing Island sand out. At this point, really pays to make sure you use the vertical, not the horizontal, to push your foil in. You start smacking your horizontal, yes, you'll get your foil in, but you can easily alter the angle of attack and completely muck up your settings. So pop it in, use the vertical, wiggle it around if you need to, so it's flush with the hull, and we'll go around and we'll pin it in. All right, so first thing to do is pin the foil in. Reason for that is it's the one you really don't want to forget. Go out with everything else unattached, not really an issue. Go out without the pin attached, which I got away with just once, and your board falls out. And if you're lucky, you catch it and swim home. If you're unlucky, you've lost your foil. Okay, so next up, just attach all the ride height systems. Cool, so that's all ready to go. Just check you've got everything attached. At some point, remember to do your bungs. I leave mine next to the cleats, so I'm going to see them if I try and launch without putting them in, but try to put them in as late as possible because it's only a very small hole, so a little bit of heat and that air expands and tries to pop the seals open, so leave that till last. Check everything else is attached, which it is. We're good to go sailing.